Alright, today we're going to see how to install an aftermarket stereo in your vehicle. The vehicle that has been chosen today is a 1996 Buick Century. The first thing you want to do after you buy your aftermarket head unit is to buy the adapter kit for the original factory stereo. This would go on the factory stereo end, and this end goes on the aftermarket head unit. Always buy this. It's a hell of a lot easier. The first time I did the stereo, we just cut the original wires all off, and that's going to make it 10 times as harder to do it this time, because I got to put the original factory wires, the connector on this end first, before I can even put the new head unit in. So we'll get outside and show you how it's done. Well, first, before we go do that, this is the original factory head unit connector. See, that's all stripped off. That was originally from the car. This just goes right in there, and it's really easy to do. But like I said, the first head unit I had, they didn't have this, and I didn't want to wait, so I just stripped all the wires. It's going to make it harder to do this time, but we'll still do it. Alright, now we're in the car. As you can see, this has already been done once. So it can be done. Most GM cars require that you buy a separate mounting kit. As you can see, this radio is I don't know, sticking out a ½ inch, because it's a little bit longer, and not only that, it's skinnier. This is a single DIN. The GMs, I believe, most of them have a DIN and a half, for probably the sole purpose so that you can't put an aftermarket head unit in it easily. It can still be done though, so I'll show you how it's done. First thing you have to do is take off the under dashboard, I guess you'd call it the under dash, this whole part where the ashtray is, and then on this side of the steering wheel, that comes all the way over to this brake release cable. The first screw is right here, right above the brake release cable, and then other screws are very hard to find. One of them is in this hole right there. The other two are holding the diagnostic code reader here. There's two bolts on each side of this thing. There's 2 or 3 over here underneath the ashtray, right here. And there may be one, there is one over in the far corner there, as you can see right there. And the final screw, or bolt I should say, is hidden in here. You need a little screwdriver easily. Maybe you could even do it with your hands. Pop that off, and there's a bolt underneath there. Alright, then once you get the bottom part of the dashboard off, you want to disconnect the ashtray, okay, or the light for the ashtray. Then if you look up underneath, there are 4 screws, one over there and then one way on the other side, that are holding this wood, I guess you would call it fake wood faceplate in, and then you can get to the radio. Alright, once you get that wood trim off of here, you then need to take this off that's covering these rocker switches. There's a screw right here and a screw right there. And then you need to take a screwdriver or something, get it on the other side on here to pry it off. Alright, we got that off. Now, if you have the original head unit, it doesn't matter, because there's 2 bolts right there, one there, and on this side there's one there, there's 2 right there, and that'll take either the original head unit or the framing kit off. Alright, then once you take those 4 screws off, that'll slide right out. And then you can do your wiring. If you have the original head unit interface connector there, all you have to do is connect that thing up that I already showed you. But we have to redo all this because we took the original head unit off of there. And this is your antenna. You're going to need an adapter for that. So you have to buy this pretty much. You can do it yourself, but it's just going to be 10 times harder. Alright, an hour and a half later, after you get the factory harness back on there, it's time to put your the factory harness to the new head unit connector on there. Alright, then once you got that on there, you're ready to run it back up through to where the radio normally sits. Plug it in, see if she works.
Why is it only coming out of one speaker?
Alright, and we got it powered. We're good. Well, I lied. It doesn't work. It turns out, since we didn't have any solder left, trying to get the original factory harness on there again wasn't as easy as I thought, and as soon as I shut the video recorder off, it just kept shorting out because there were too many wires that were touching together. So I'm gonna have to drive without a radio for a week, and my car being in 10 pieces. So this should be fun, but I'll get over it. It did work, as you saw real quick, and then it just kept shorting out, and we got it to work again, and then it shorted again. So when I get time, I'm gonna have to solder the wires and just do it right. But as I said, my car's in 20 pieces. I got 3 different radios, and the only one that would work was the original one that came in the car from back in '96. Didn't have all those features to shut itself off when the wires are touching, so it did work, but didn't feel like putting it back together. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the dashboard of this car. I'll live with it. Once I can get her working again, I'll give you a video and show you that she works. Car starts at least, and that's all I really give a damn about. Over and out.